Breaking at 6 a.m, new developments in the ever-deepening Princess Kate saga. ITV News this morning reporting 3 staff members of the hospital where she underwent abdominal surgery are being investigated for allegedly accessing royal records.
Nine's Jessica Millward is at the clinic in London with those breaking details. Jess, good morning to you. There are also concerns the King's private information may also have been accessed.
Good morning, Carl. That's right. And that is, of course, because the monarch was also treated here at the London clinic at the same time the Princess of Wales was. So this is breaking this evening, breaking on ITV, that now 3 staff members from the London clinic are under investigation for a major privacy breach. What we don't know is when this breach occurred. Did it happen when the Princess of Wales was here receiving abdominal surgery in January, or is it a more recent occurrence? I spoke with Chris Shipp a short time ago. He is the journalist that broke this news for ITV. He said he has approached Buckingham Palace to ask for a comment around the King's privacy breach, and they would not comment specifically on that, but they have now been forced to release an official statement saying that any sort of breach will not be tolerated, and that any sort of breach breaks the respect of patients and also colleagues. Kensington Palace has been notified of this latest development, that now potentially 3 staff members are involved in this major investigation. It is yet to comment, but the UK Health Minister has.
There are very strict rules about which patient notes you can access. You're only allowed to access the patient notes you're caring for and with their permission. And there's really strict rules. The Information Commissioner would take enforcement action against trusts or primary care practices.
This is a major embarrassment for the London clinic. It is a very exclusive hospital. It treats people like the royals, also prime ministers and presidents when they are in London. So all eyes are on them to see how they now handle this investigation. I understand we could see some more developments on this story in the next hour.
Jess, thank you. On that breaking news out of the UK, 3 staff members at a London hospital now being investigated over allegedly trying to access royal medical records.
To discuss this, let's bring in royal editor at the Daily Mirror, Russell Myers. Russell, good to see you. Now, you have some exclusive details on that investigation. What can you tell us?
Yeah, we do. Good morning, guys. Well, we've broken tonight that this investigation at the London clinic where the Princess of Wales and the King were being treated in January are now investigating 3 members of staff, we understand. Now, this relates to the exclusive we broke yesterday that we said at the time that there was at least 1 member of staff alleged to have accessed the private medical information of the Princess of Wales. And tonight it seems that there's 3 people now being investigated. There's a couple of other things that have emerged today. There are details surrounding whether the King's medical records were breached. I can reveal that he has not been subject to that subject. And certainly Buckingham Palace will probably be breathing a sigh of relief that they're not involved in this situation that has been very, very fast moving and that Kensington Palace and the London clinic are dealing with right now.
It's incredibly damaging and awful for her to have this kind of news even out there. Must be incredibly stressful. How are they handling it all?
Well, I think, the Kensington Palace have been pretty consistent in their language, right to the way we go back to January when they said that the Princess of Wales would be in hospital for a couple of weeks and she'd be recovering at home. They are not commenting at all. And I think that they want the investigation, which is now being handled by a group called the Information Commissioner's Office, who have the jurisdiction to launch a criminal investigation, because this is a criminal matter. To access anyone's details like this could end up with someone in the courts. And listen, you can only imagine what Kate is going through at the moment. She was supposed to be recovering at home, and this will be pretty stressful, I imagine.
And obviously, as you mentioned, the investigation is underway now, but it does beg the question, how on earth could something like this happen at a hospital that's supposed to be so private, any hospital really? And if somebody is charged, what kinds of sanctions will they face, and what message does that send?
Well, it's interesting because, the Information Commissioner's Office can fine someone. The individual concerned could be struck off if they're alleged to have breached data protection rules. But I'm told that that Scotland Yard, the Metropolitan Police, could also get involved alongside that other probe. So that will be very interesting to see whether the police deem this worthy of launching a separate investigation. As I suppose it depends what parameters are judged to have been overtaken in this investigation. But, listen, I think this is a very, very fast-moving investigation. It's obviously ongoing. There are people at the centre of it. And of course, the Princess of Wales is one of those people.
It can't be hard to find the people responsible, given you'd know the computer terminal, you'd know the logins, you'd know with security vision what time of day it was and probably who they were. Is it illegal, if that information has been sold, is it illegal for a publication to print that information?
Well, listen, I can only speak for ourselves, but I imagine across the board that absolutely nobody would touch that information, if they were offered it. I mean, that is private medical data, and no sort of media organisation would touch that. I suppose that is going to be part of the investigation, both for the ICO rather, and Scotland Yard if they get involved, as to what was the motives of this person or persons to go and try and access that information. But very, very concerning. It's been described to me as a major security breach, and certainly this isn't one that's going to go away for the individuals involved or indeed the palace.
Right onto it, Russell. Thank you.
We have breaking news about Princess Kate as we go to air in relation to that medical breach at the London hospital where she underwent abdominal surgery. ITV News in the UK reporting 3 members of staff are being investigated for allegedly trying to access royal medical records.
Nine's Jess Millward is at the clinic in London with those breaking details. Jess, good morning to you. There are also concerns the King's records may have been accessed.
Morning, Carl. That's right. This is now major breaking news in the UK. This story making headlines here in the UK and right across the world. ITV now reporting that at least 3 staff from the London clinic behind me are now under investigation for trying to access the Princess of Wales medical records. She was, of course, here in January for 2 weeks. She underwent abdominal surgery and then spent a number of weeks recovering. Now, at the same time, you might remember, the King Charles, also came here to the London clinic to receive treatment for an enlarged prostate. So questions are now being asked, investigations being made as to whether or not the monarch's medical conditions have also been accessed in what is being described as a major privacy breach. The London clinic prides itself on its confidentiality. It has very high-profile patients, not just the royals, but prime ministers and presidents when they come to the UK. They have now been forced to release a statement, and it in part does read, "Everyone at the London clinic is acutely aware of our individual, professional, ethical and legal duties with regards to patient confidentiality. There is no place at our hospital for those who intentionally breach the trust of any of our patients or colleagues." So this is a huge embarrassment for them. At Kensington Palace have been notified of these latest developments, that potentially 3 people are now being investigated. So too has Buckingham Palace. So far, no comment from either, but the UK's Health Minister did comment today.
There are very strict rules about which patient notes you can access. You're only allowed to access the patient notes you're caring for with their permission. And there's really strict rules. The Information Commissioner would take enforcement action against trusts or primary care practices.
A major investigation, of course, now underway. We saw the Queen Camilla, was out and about at the Isle of Man today. Prince William held an engagement behind closed doors in Windsor. So no comment from either the Buckingham Palace or Kensington Palace just yet, but just when you thought this royal story couldn't get any bigger, it just did.
Thank you, Jess. Hey there, Today fans. Sarah and...
What's my name again?
Oh my goodness, Carl.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel, though. Subscribe now for more news, special reports and amazing Aussie stories.
And Carl misbehaving,
Whoa,
of course.
that never happens.
Always happens.
What's she talking about?
Always happens.